It's been weeks since the SARS protest ended, but youths in Abuja are not impressed with the response of the federal government towards the implementation of their demands. They insist that government must now expedite action immediately in order to forestall a breakdown of law and order. The youth groups also discourage young people from engaging in another round of protests. Sifon Hussain reports.
Are still recovering from the violence that greeted protests against police brutality and demands for institutional reforms. Ambient sound. Those of us hit by the violence are picking up bits and pieces of their lives, while the authorities are rebuilding destroyed public facilities. But there are concerns that the pace of government's implementation of reforms in response to the demands by the SARS campaigners could trigger another round of protests.
We want the government to ensure that there is no delay in addressing the demands of the SARS protesters as earlier promised, and that should involve the youths themselves in the process of addressing their demands through genuine and well-meaning civil society organizations.
Beyond this, there are calls for the establishment of more livelihood programs to tackle poverty in the country.
So the double challenge: 1, to feed immediately people who are without adequate food, and 2, to replace a system whose priorities are power and profit, with one meeting the needs of all human beings, providing food. In conformity with our onerous agenda to ensure that the world spends more in arming the nations to secure it, and our belief that we can actually spend less by feeding the nation, because an hungry man is an angry man. We can convene a forum where all discordant tunes can be addressed, all aggrieved parties attended to, and all misconceptions resolved.
So far, the federal government is implementing social intervention programs largely to stave off hunger. But there are calls for the expansion of these programs. Sifon Hussain, TVC News, Abuja.